Welcome to TAP. Thank you for tuning in. I have been reading the book Focusing. I have it here in my hands, and it's from 1978 originally, and this copy is from 2003. It is written by Eugene Gendlin. I fell across some great quotes from him, and I was intrigued, and I had to read this book. It's very recommendable. He is a Capricorn, but not just a Capricorn. No one, I guess, is just a Capricorn. He has his sun conjunct the South Node together with Venus, and it's opposing Pluto that is conjunct his North Node. So that is absolutely someone who's very present. It's certainly also an emphasis on Earth, and then this huge transformational growth with Pluto that has a certain direction for his life when it's conjunct the North Node. Anyway, he passed in 2017, and today I got inspired to set up his method that I've been reading about in this book as a contemplative meditation, or maybe I should call it a guided body listening. I'm not sure, because the word meditation, it can mean several things, but I'm pretty sure it can also mean, you're contemplating something, and it is going into somewhat of a meditative state, yet it's not where you're dozing off, because you're performing inner acts, as he would call it. What follows here is a short introduction. I hope I can do it short anyway, but I think there should be an introduction to what focusing is. And I just want to make this disclaimer that I am relying heavily on direct formulation in this book. So do not sue me. I think I said something similar, a couple of chapters ago. The thing is, when I obsess about a book like this, when I I really want, I kind of have a love relationship with a book. It's a bit creepy maybe, but I don't know how else to describe it. It's really passionate. I feel it, and I feel intense joy for the book somehow. So I intend to quote directly, and I intend to change a minimum from the original text. So I certainly don't pretend to, Mannah, have made any of this up. And I hope that I create clear lines in my chapters of when I'm saying something, because I do tend to comment on things, and when I'm quoting the author. So in this one, I am not doing any commenting really. It's really his words that I'm planning on delivering to you. So first an introduction, and then a meditation, which is going to be very circular. And I understand that is how the technique is to be, that you don't go, even though his moon is in Virgo, it's not that you go from 1 to 2, but I guess you do exactly with 1 to 2. I think you do, because 1 is the opening, and then the second movement follows. But it's sort of like the opening, and then everything else follows, as I understand, in circular movements. So as you listen to it, just be sure to be in your own process with it, because I can say something that's like a little off if you're just in a process and then I start all over. Just ignore what I say if it's not what you need. So you'll be guided to these internal acts that he's talking about, and skills that is useful to approach a problem. That is really what we're doing in the meditation part. And it's tempting for me to go on for a long time because I want to get all the good stuff from the book. I always have to be selective here. So definitely it's worth reading. No matter what you hear from me, the book is always worth reading. But Eugene Gendlin, he actually writes that it's only to be done for a maximum of 30 minutes. So I intend on keeping the meditation part 30 minutes. But before we enter the meditation or reflection or a guided technique, this does not count within the 30 minutes, by the way, because before we go to that, I will talk about some key concepts to understand what focusing by Eugene Gendlin is, because many other people have literature around it, but he has founded a special technique. And now it is when I start to rely heavily on his articulation, starting now, okay? So focusing is a deliberate, controlled process, up to a certain point, that is, because then there is an equally deliberate relaxation of control and letting go and dropping of the reins. Now, the very word focusing suggests that you're trying to make sharp what is at first vague. You grope down into a felt sense. A felt sense, it's more complicated than an emotion, even though a felt sense has emotional components. It's almost always unclear. Your body, however, delivers an internal aura that encompasses everything you feel you know about the given subject. It's like music. It has a powerful impact and a big, round, unclear feeling. It's bodily felt. It's the same when you think of a person's aura. So to illustrate this point, you can think of your own reactions when you talk to a certain person, and then you talk to another person, and something in you changes inside. You can sense the difference within you. You can talk privately with one person, and when this other person walks into the room, you can feel yourself becoming different. You have a felt sense of another person, and these changes inside you are not brought on by thinking. You don't think, oh, this is my friend here with whom I have to behave in such and such way. Little thinking is involved. Ask yourself, why am I this way with one person and that way with another person? The answers are not in your mind. Only your body knows. Eugene also talks about a body shift, and that is something we should keep an eye on in the meditative part. A bodily shift is when there is a distinct physical sensation of change. And this can be a step toward resolution of a problem you have maybe discussed with a therapist for years without change. So that is an inner act. In the meditative part, there'll also be invitations to control the process in such a way to prevent yourself from drifting. But once you've made contact with the felt sense clearly and strongly, then you drop the reins. Let what comes from the felt sense come. Words, pictures, physical sensations, as long as it is from this felt sense. Understanding is a byproduct, because this process is mysterious. At first, what we sense into is an unclear, unrecognizable discomfort, which the problem makes in your body in order to carry the problem. He talks about the whole problem. And again, the felt sense. A felt sense is made of many interwoven strands, like a carpet, but it is felt as one. The single felt sense of the situation incorporates the problem and the bodily known solution. Here's this example of a golfer When a golfer swings, several hundred different muscles must work together in a precise way, each coming into action at a certain microsecond each, exerting just the right amount of pull on the right bone and for the right length of time. The body feels all this as a whole. The whole body takes aim. You look for a felt sense in the same place where golfers look to find if they are ready to swing. They don't ask questions in their heads. They feel the answer in their bodies. The same process of feeling within the body is familiar in any sport. Asking questions in the head or trying to make the head dominate the body never works. The felt sense is also when we want to communicate something and the right words come as we speak. The felt sense includes dozens of component parts of perhaps hundreds. The meaning you want to put across, the emotional color you want to give it, the reasons why you want to say it to those particular people, the reactions you hope to elicit from them, and so on. But there are not yet any specific words. And what do you do to regain the sense of what you were going to say if you got distracted? You look within the body. You go through a process that is much like an informal kind of focusing. You grope inside yourself. There you do have a felt sense, but not the ready to speak open felt sense you had before you got distracted. Instead, you have that feeling of what you forgot. Focusing is very much like that. One must go to that place where there are not words but only feeling. At first, there may be nothing there until a felt sense forms. But when it forms, it feels pregnant. The felt sense has in it a meaning you can feel. But usually it's not immediately open. Usually you will have to stay with a felt sense for some seconds until it opens. What we will do in the meditation is to propose to your body, I feel all fine about this problem. It is all solved. And then you put your attention in your body. The body knows it's not true. Then that helps you to find the very specific, not fine sense of the problem. So now you can sense the exact quality of the felt sense, how your body has the problem. There are 6 movements, and they repeat, like I mentioned. It is about establishing first a friendly environment with yourself. Often what can come is something critical. Like, oh, I've been in this space for years, now I want something to get me out. Or in another way, thoughts can come up to say, I know what my problem is, and it's just the way I am. Or I'm just stuck here. And what we want to do is to ignore what we know and sense freshly, to find what your body really feels, so that we understand what it feels like to you to be a person who has this problem. It's all great that you know this stuff, the analysis, but we have to wait so we can hear the internal self. So instead, I will guide you to ask yourself gently what you feel down in there. And in a friendly way, we hear and accept whatever feelings we find. Okay, so just a note here. Now it is mixing up what I'm saying about what we're going to do and Eugene Gendlin's words about it. So what I'm trying to say here is that, it's sort of a guided meditation, but I'm not just asking you questions. I will ask you to ask yourself the questions, because that is the technique. And in the beginning, we take some time to give ourselves a positive set, a body-mind receptivity, So I would guide the process where you put yourself into that state that makes something good happen inside of you personally. So you know what that is. It's called clearing the space here. And it's called clearing the space because you will push all your problems to one side until you find the right distance from your problems. It's not that you're running away from them or ignoring them or repressing them. You just stand back a little way, far enough so that the problems no longer feel overwhelming, but close enough so that you can still feel them. So in the first movement, one by one, you distance yourself from whatever is trapping you today when you're doing this. Whatever is hurting you, nagging you, you still see all the problems before you, of course. They are all still very much there, but you have stepped into a little sheltered space where for a time they cannot hurt you. It is as if you've been carrying a heavy burden and now you stop to set it down and you take rest for a while. Only by first setting it down can you look at what's in the bag. Your body needs the rest. So you unload, you put the heavy pack down on the ground, take the problems out now one by one, line them up and look at them without carrying them. I like this image. That was me, Mannah. So when you can deal with intense feelings and situations with a relaxed, loose body, it's going to be easier. So just remember that you are a process and your feelings are part of that process. And feelings are newly produced each moment. And this focusing technique can really change where your life is stuck, crammed, hemmed in, and it will enable you to change, says Eugene Gendlin. So let's do it, okay? We have arrived. First you sit comfortably. Mannah will definitely say you can also lie down. I've been doing this lying down. He says sitting, but so each to their own. But I've definitely done it lying down. But somehow come to silence. Pay attention inwardly. And to make the process of relaxing easier, tense your whole body and then relax it. Tense your arms, hands, forearms. Let them feel tight, hard, tense. Feel the tension. And then slowly relax. Feel the difference. Let the whole body feel loose, soft, relaxed. Then let yourself relax. Exhale a deep, long breath. Allow yourself to melt so that your body can express itself more freely. It's just for a brief time here. Allow yourself to stop being a monument to your troubles. Release the cramp in your body and give your body a pause, a break, in which to let it become whole. We won't forget the problems, but you can take rest a while. Take a break. Let your body feel whole and sound, so that you will be ready to work on the difficulties and painful feelings in a new way. Now ask yourself, how do I feel? Why don't I feel wonderful right now? listen. And list the problems mentally. Stack the problems. Keep stacking the problems until you hear something say, yes, except for those, I am fine. How do I feel? Ask yourself that. And at first, your mind might answer. Just ask again until a felt sense stirs. You have time now to listen to yourself, as I remind you that your body can feel completely at ease and natural every moment. The body has the wisdom to deal with your problems. Your body is a complex, life-maintaining system. And your body knows what feels right. It knows the direction. Your body is an incredible fine system within nature and the cosmos. The living process is in you. So you've asked yourself, how do I feel? And you stand a few feet back from your problems that are listing up, stacking up. You can walk up and touch them if you like. Sense them there, as though with your fingertips. You can pull back whenever they begin to get threatening. Take charge. Throw all your problems to one side. Get them all off of you. Then take a break. And then just let one problem come. What feels heaviest right now? Choose one problem. The one that feel bad in whatever way you and your body defines bad. Ask, what would come in my body if that were also set aside? You are not any of the things you have set aside. You are no content at all. Now ask yourself, how am I now? If you feel empty, what does this empty feel like? What is the feel of all this empty? What's with you right now? What's the main thing for you right now? Don't answer in words. Wait. Let the feelings appear. Especially welcome the feelings that can come without names. The body doesn't answer quickly. It takes time. Let's give it time. Do you feel hurt or angry? Say to yourself, that's right. I feel this way. It's natural. And yes, I know why. But let me sense all that which is involved for me in this feeling. What comes up? And stand back. Don't go into it. Ask for a felt sense to form. What is the worst of the problem? What is at the center of it? What is under this? What does this whole problem feel like? Don't answer in words. But allow a sense of the whole area that may be static now from your mind. Self-lectures, analytic theories, cliches. And you must get down past all that noise, go underneath, be patient, and turn off the noise gently. Tell yourself that you know all that. Now let's set it aside. Be firm and polite. If you find yourself trying to analyze the problem, turn it off. Sure, you may be right about that, but we aren't trying to figure anything out. What does this whole thing feel like? Ask yourself, what is doing it? What needs to happen for me with this? What would it take to feel better? Get a feel of this mass of feelings that go with the word that comes up. Take a breath. Consider the problem as wider and deeper than just the word that comes. Bring home to yourself that it probably goes with much else in your life, your past, your future, other people, and so on. There's a whole context. Try to get the whole feel of what goes along with the particular word that comes up. Breathe. What is its unique qualities? Feel it inside. See what fresh words come from it. Feelings contain many details, just as a piece of music contains many notes. A symphony, for instance, may last an hour or more and contain thousands of separate musical tones sounded by many diverse instruments in a multitude of combinations and progressions. But you don't need to know all the details of its structure in order to feel it. The feel of it comes to you whole, without details. Now let your sensing go inward, down past all the details that can distract, until you feel the single great aura that encloses all of it, like it was your sense of a person. Once you have the feeling of the whole problem, stay with it for a while. Just let it be and be felt now. What is the quality of the felt sense? Is the quality heavy, helpless, tied down, burdened? It could also be a short phrase, like in a box, I have to perform. Maybe a picture pops up for you. You are here to get the core of the felt sense. The quality may feel oppressive, scary, uneasy. Or there may be no words for it. Now, you may begin to find the problem changing maybe the problem is different from what you expected before you started focusing. When a word or a picture is right, you will feel it. There is a bodily signal, just like when you remember something you forgot. And it leads to words, to pictures that come from the feeling. Let it label itself. Is it scared? Is it a stiff place inside? Is there a heavy feeling? Notice that little relief in your body when it says, yes, that's right, this word fits. Now take the word or image you got and check it against the felt sense. Is it right? Is it still right? Is it a perfect fit? And notice any felt response. Maybe the problem is that you are hurt. But what else? What is the whole around and under it? Ask yourself what the whole area of your life feels like. Sense the whole of what comes up. If you are interrupted by the inner critic, wave it off with your hand and put your attention in the body. And let the constriction the critic has made in the body ebb away. Wait till you again sense your own inward source, where the felt sense of the whole problem forms. Whatever gets in the way, you can focus on that for a moment. Like, there I go again, trying so hard, I get all tense. Okay, what is this trying so hard? I know all about it, of course. I know all that. Let's just feel, what is all that about trying so hard? What does all that feel like? So in this way you respect your body's sense of what has to be taken up next. If something comes up that you feel scared to focus on, likewise you can focus on the feeling of not wanting to be scared. Okay, let's just stay right here with the scared. What is this scared? What kind of scared is it? What is the whole feel of it? Don't push yourself. Focus on the immediate felt barrier. What is the whole feel of that? Let it open. Let your body release into feeling better. Open, release, fresh air. You will feel better. Whatever you find down inside yourself, when you let it name itself and be localized. Breathe. Imagine your whole problem is a very large picture on a white wall. Step back so you can see it. Attend in your body. What felt sense does the image give you? Just a little distance from it. You are not in it, but next to it. Imagine a door between the problem and you. You have your hand on the doorknob and you can open it a little whenever you want. Propose to your body that you feel totally fine and joyful about how your life is going. Now sense what comes up. What is between you and feeling fine? Sense the relief that comes from making space. The problem, it can be large, it can be trivial, it doesn't matter. Acknowledge it. Yes, it's there. So this is how you trust the whole series of steps by which your body moves to resolve and change. Put your attention in your body. Welcome anything that comes with a body shift. What does it feel like to be a person with this problem? Let the felt sense of the whole problem come. And now ask, what is the worst of this? What is the scariest part? And what does this felt sense need? What would it take for this to feel okay? Remember, this is a friendly time within your body, and you can decide to stop at any time. Sense that you can really leave this space and return to it later. This is your inner landscape. Once you know where it is and how to find it, you can leave it and come back later. What is that whole felt sense all about? That, let's say, helplessness. It could be fear. It could be hurt. Ask yourself, but don't answer. Let the feeling deepen itself. Helpless. Yeah, it still feels like the right word, but it is now the word only for the tip of the iceberg. So you can begin to feel its bulk beneath the word. A lot is involved in the whole bulk. Sense the quality. Feel it. Whenever words come, check them against the felt sense. If they make no difference, let them go. We are looking for a bodily shift, a release. If explanations, ideas, and accusations come into your head, let's ask, what does this whole thing feel like? Feel behind the words, widen the scope. Do you still feel the whole problem? If you sense, let's say, a feeling of being left behind, but it's only the tip of the iceberg, go through it again, stack all your troubles to one side. Then you place it next to yourself in a friendly way, as if on the floor. Sit quietly, lie quietly, receptively, then repeat the most feeling-filled word you have, like, I am scared of it, so scared. And at the same time, you ask yourself what this scared is. Where do you feel it? Or if you're going deeper in this round, ask yourself, what is this left behind feeling? What's really in it for me? What's the worst of it? And now you ask your body, what would come in my body if this problem was somehow all solved. Wait until you sense what comes in your body. And let what comes be for a little while now. Ask, except for this, do I feel totally fine and joyful about how my life is going? Wait for your body to respond to the question. Sense the whole of the discomfort. Now, what is the quality? What word or image comes out of that felt sense? Does the word that comes up match the felt sense? Look for a shift in the body. And when you get a signal, you ask, is this right? And when it's right, what is it about the whole problem that makes you so, could be frustrated, could be sad, angry, or shameful? What does the problem need? Now, there are many questions here. I trust you to take in only what's useful for you, but if you drift off on some irrelevant train of thought, just bring yourself back gently, like you're a small child whose attention is wandering. Gently guide it. Guide yourself back and say, what was I focusing on? How does this whole thing feel? What is the background feeling? What quality is always there? And what comes between you and feeling fine? Welcome what comes. Be glad it spoke. Protect it from critical voices. And this focusing guidance, as explained by Eugene Gendlin in 1978, is coming to an end. You can always return to your inner landscape. Your body is much more than the physical machine. Your physically felt body is part of a gigantic system of here and other places, now and other times, you and other people. In fact, the whole universe. This sense of being bodily alive in a vast system is the body as it is felt from inside. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. Sending you lots of healing energy, and feel free to contact me. Reach out on my email, therapeutic.astrologer@gmail.com, or at my website, therapeutic.astrologer.com, if you have any comments, suggestions, or positive feedback, please. Sending so much love, and catch you next time.